so much for checking out the lesson. I've got a really fun one for you here today, and there's a lot of sort of like outside sounding stuff that Jerry's getting into here. A lot of stuff where he's playing off of really simple chord shapes and then really classic pentatonic type stuff. This is one of the rare cases where there aren't really any bends going on. So let's get into it. I've got 4 sections for you. To start out, we're going to slide from the 7th fret of A down to the 5th fret with the index. Let me talk you through what's happening there. So the first chord that's being played under the solo is going to be an A minor, so keep that in mind. So we're going to lead into it with this little riff, kind of an A minor pentatonic thing, and then now real quick, let's look at what's happening there. There's an E7 chord happening in the second measure there. So when he goes 5, 8, 7, that's all against an E7. From there it goes back to A minor, and he's going to go like this. That is so cool for 2 main reasons to me. 2 things stand out. The 5th fret right here, okay, that's a chord tone of A minor. He goes to D, then he hits the major third of an A, to the root, to the minor third. That's such a cool move. That's very jazzy. So right here again. Now this next lick, he's hitting a G sharp there, which is just sort of an unusual choice in the best kind of way. It's so authentic and original. Moving on from there, playing against the D chord, we're going to be doing, and by the way, a lot of these are triplets. We're going to go like this. Triplet, 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 triplet. That's a really great run. Again, on 5 of D, triplet. A lot of this stuff is this kind of weaving pattern. So again, that whole first section. That brings us to section 2. I'm going to play it first and then talk you through it. That last note ties right into the next part. I'll explain as we go, but we're back to kind of this first position at A minor pentatonic, although Jerry's playing off of the chord being played behind his solo, which is an F major, and so he's going to go like that. He's hitting the note F right there. Notice that a lot of the times when he's doing these little chromatic things, he's doing it's kind of a pattern-based thing where it's over multiple strings, and that consistency of the pattern really ties everything together really nicely. So again here. Now the next chord that we're going to be playing against is a D minor, and he's going to hit the 5th fret, which is an E. Kind of interesting. That would create like a D minor 9 sound. That is such an incredible line to come up with against a D minor. He's got the major 7 of the chord. Like I said, the 9 is in there. He ends up sliding up to the major third of a B7 chord, which is coming up next. But that lick is so good, I got to play it again. So from here, those are all triplet rhythms too. So triplet, 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 triplet. Like I said, that's the major third of a B7. It leads us into the next little part here, the next measure. We're going to hit the 10th fret, which is an A. That's the flat 7 of a B chord. He's leading to the major third of an E7 chord, which is the next chord. Then he hits the root of that E, which is the note E, slides up. And then he's going to end up sliding up to the 10th fret. I'm going to recap that second section again from the 5th fret of the D string. meant to mention against that B7 chord is not only, you know, I mentioned the flat 7 and the 3rd is the 8th fret of the chord, but picture that diagonal kind of major form. He's really playing off of that, and this is a classic Jerryism, is going from the top of the triad, the 5th, the 3rd, the root, and then going down chromatically to the flat 7. In this case, it's leading to the next chord tone. I'm going to play the 3rd section now. I'm going to pick up actually at the end of the previous section just to kind of tie it together. So it's going to go 9th fret to 10th fret to G, triplet, 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 triplet. And that'll lead us into the 4th and final section, but let me talk you through that. So, like I said, there's this slide that goes up to an F, and he's playing against an A minor. So I think he was really just kind of on the way to this note A on the 10th fret of the B string, and it was just kind of collateral damage sort of by hitting the 10th fret of G. So I'll count it like this: triplet, 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 triplet. That's a great little line. Again, a lot of this kind of stuff going on, these little chromatic walk-up things. So and then he does the same kind of move in the next measure, but backwards. This is going to be against the E7. By landing on the note C, that gives the E7 sort of an augmented or like 7 flat 13 sound, just to put a chord to it. So when you hear that C against it, it's really kind of jazzy again. Now we pick up from there. And then we head back to an A minor chord and do this really cool sort of Dorian line where he goes. But it's interesting because I probably shouldn't have called it Dorian. It has this F sharp, which gives it a Dorian flavor for a second. So he does have that. But then he instantly plays an F natural, which really changes the vibe of it. And he lands on the major 3rd of that chord, which is just so awesome and kind of outside. Then he's going to play over a D major chord and go like this. So you can see a lot of that kind of stuff going on, those little 3-note chromatic things. Okay, now we're getting into the 4th and final run. There's going to be 4 more measures. It's going to go F major to A minor to D to G. So just keep that in mind as I move on to this next part, which is going to go like this. Alright, so starting with this first little piece, he does like a little double pull off, and he lands on 5 of the G string, and then 7 of D to 7 of G, which then is going to lead up to this kind of bluesy line that's kind of A minor pentatonic based. This part right here, that's a great little, bit of vocab to put into your own playing. That part is against an A minor, and it really fits perfectly. Then from there, to kind of close this solo out, it's going to go to a D to a G to lead to the verse, which is a C chord. So it's kind of like a 5 to 5 to 1. Actually, I should probably explain what I mean by that. D is the 5th of G. That's what I meant. G is the 5th of C, and that's where we're ultimately heading. So really, I should have called it a 2 with a major substitution to a 5 to a 1. Okay, now, what Jerry's playing against that, though, is really cool. He's going to start on 13 of the B string, playing the note C natural, which gives it a D7 vibe. In fact, he's outlining a D7 literally to the T, and then he does just a D major triad. And that's that move I was just talking about, where he starts at the top of the triad, and he walks down from the root major 7, flat 7, like that. So again here. Then he goes back up to the 12th fret, back to the note D. And then he's going to hit this really cool line over the G chord where he goes 10 of D. He ends on the note F, which really gives the G like a seventh kind of sound. So a lot of dominant chords in here. And it's very, I don't know, there's something really jazzy about this solo. And like I said, it's one of the rare cases that I can think of where he's not really bending at all. It's kind of interesting. It's very cool. All this other stuff he's doing, it's basically all triplets and a lot of this kind of triplet, like chromatic stuff. For such a short solo, he packed so much into that. So much harmony and so much color and vibe went into that. It's like 30 seconds, and he played a whole lot of notes there. It's some really fast playing. So it's a really good challenge. I thought like a good picking challenge, as well as dexterity, and then keeping some of those, those chord forms intact. And it's crazy how quickly, you could tell he was processing what was happening in terms of the chord change behind what he's doing. So it's a great example for us to set for ourselves playing against a chord change. In the end, as fast as it is and as complicated as some of it sounds, he's doing like pattern-based things with really kind of foundational chord shapes, like little triad forms and stuff. So I guess that's the silver lining for us mere mortals, is we can take from Jerry's style here a little bit and maybe apply it to our own stuff in a little way. That's my hope, at least. So I hope you enjoyed this solo. I know I sure did. I really, it challenged me a lot transcribing it. So let me know if there's another one you want to see a breakdown of. I've got some other fun stuff coming, but I really love hearing your suggestions. So thanks for hanging with me, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.